Alright, let me move the camera here. What's up, guys? Jay Merckx here, doing a little NFL football prediction. Bear with me here, it is my first video ever. I know the camera position here is a little awkward and everything, and I'll probably lose my train of thought multiple times throughout the video, but yeah, so let's do a prediction here on the Eagles and Falcons, the first Monday Night Football game of the 2015 NFL season, and I'm extremely excited for it. I did a DraftKings lineup this week, and I have a bunch of guys in this game, so I'm really going to be paying close attention. Now, who do I think is going to win the game? I'm really into gambling. If you guys continue to watch my videos throughout the season, you're going to see just how much I like to put money on the games, and I'm considering putting money on one of these teams. Let's figure out who. So, over the offseason, a lot of moves were made by these teams. More with the Eagles than the Falcons, but still, the Falcons made quite a few moves. What moves did the Falcons make? Well, they drafted a dude by the name of Vic Beasley. Last season, one of the Falcons' problems was getting to the quarterback. Even though they had a pretty veteran squad on defense, they had a really old team on defense. They were the third oldest team on their defensive line in the NFL last season. And they got Vic Beasley and Adrian Claiborne, the big guy being Vic Beasley. Vic Beasley was an absolute beast in college, and I think he's going to be an instant impact kind of guy. In a game tonight against Sam Bradford, who has an ACL injury last season, I don't care what anyone says. I've torn my ACL myself. I know people who have torn their ACL. It's in your mind more than anything. Even if he's 100% physically, mentally there's zero chance he's 100% until he plays a couple regular season games, until he can get hit a couple times and see how his body reacts. That's how he's going to be able to get back into his groove as being a pretty good quarterback. And in the first game, if Vic Beasley, if Adrian Claiborne, if that front seven for the Falcons can get to the quarterback, it's going to be a huge problem for the Eagles. Now, the Eagles made a ton of acquisitions as well. They lost LaShawn McCoy. They lost Jeremy Maclin. They lost Evan Mathis. They lost Trent Cole. And who else did they? They lost Nick Foles. They lost Kerry Williams. Kerry Williams is a really good corner. You know, these are guys like Kerry Williams who you don't really think about. You're thinking of McCoy. You're thinking of the obvious guys. But Kerry Williams was on that team for multiple years. He performed pretty well, but you know what? In return, they got guys like Maxwell. They got guys like DeMarco Murray. They got guys like Sam Bradford, Ryan Matthews, and the biggest one that I really like and who I think is going to have a huge impact on this game is Nelson Aguilar. Now, the Eagles have a talented offense. If you watch them this preseason, if you watch them at all this preseason, you've seen they put up numbers. Sam Bradford, in my opinion, had the best preseason out of all the quarterbacks in the NFL. And I hate the Eagles, so any compliments coming from me for the Eagles, it really, don't take it with a grain of salt. I really mean it. And, I think the Eagles are going to put up points tonight. That's what everyone's been saying. If you've been watching, NFL Live or whatever, you've heard it's going to be a high-scoring game. The over-under is 55 right now. I'm personally going with the over. Now, the thing is, whenever you're looking at a game and you're wondering how much the teams are going to score, looking at the Vegas over-under is actually not a bad idea because these guys have millions of dollars on the line, and they know how to predict a game. So trust me, this game is going to be super high-scoring. If you have any of these guys on your fantasy teams like me, you're going to be pretty happy. So who's going to actually win the football game? The Falcons are playing this one at home, but does that mean a ton? I'm not sure. Last season they were 3-5 at home. They were 3-6-1 last season, I believe, as their total record. And half their wins came at home, half of them came on the road. I don't necessarily think that they're a great home team, but last season they really weren't a great team at all. So I think that being at home is an advantage for the Falcons, but it's not a definitive factor like it is for a lot of teams, like, say, the Patriots, who almost never lose at home. A team like the Seahawks almost never lose at home. The Falcons, they're not a team that is going to always win at home, kind of like the Cowboys last night against the Giants. They're not a great home team, and we saw it last night. They didn't play extremely great at home. But for the Eagles, there's a lot of new guys. And I forgot to mention before, they also picked up the guy from the Bills. What's his name? I'm having a brain fart here. I told you I'd lose my train of thought multiple times. Kiko Alonso. That defense, even though they lost guys like Trent Cole, they're going to be able to get to the quarterback. And the perfect thing about Kiko Alonso is that he can rush the quarterback, but he can also drop back into coverage. And that's what makes him so excellent as a linebacker. I'm not sure if he's going to play outside linebacker or play middle linebacker. either way, he's going to be a beast, and he's going to be a huge playmaker for that team. And, the fact that they got Murray and they gave up McCoy, they made out so well because they got Matthews and Murray, who I think is going to be a great 1-2 punch. Man, trust me, the Eagles are going to be able to run the ball. They still have a pretty good O-line, even without Evan Mathis. They have the best left tackle in the NFL, in my opinion, in Jason Peters. And once again, I hate the Eagles. I hate complimenting them. But Jason Peters is a beast. He's so athletic. He can, run. He ran with McCoy so many times. I mean, I wish I could put up highlights for you guys, but I can't. Honestly, I suck at editing, and I don't want to deal with all the copyright stuff. I suck at editing, the biggest reason. But, look up some Jason Peters highlights, because Jason Peters is an absolute beast. And there's times where he ran with LaShawn McCoy down the field, and you look at the guy and you're like, holy fuck, this guy's like 6'7", 305. How is he doing this? Now, Nelson Aguilar, I think, is going to be a beast tonight. I think him and Jordan Matthews are a very young receiving core, and they're the one and two over there in Philadelphia. But I think they're going to have a really good season. I think they're going to have an up and down season. I think there's going to be games where they're just not really reading the defense that well as wide receivers, and they're not getting open as much as they should be, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on Sam Bradford. But the beautiful thing about the Eagles' offense is that even when this passing game will be struggling, which I think it will at points, you still have DeMarco Murray and Ryan Matthews to run the ball, and you have a guy like Darren Sproles who can do so many different things, coming out of the backfield, that their offense is going to be really, really good. Now, guys, does that mean they're going to win the game? In my opinion, the answer is no. I think the Falcons come out fired up. They had a really bad season last year, a really, really disappointing season, and they have so many excellent playmakers. I think that Matt Ryan is the superior quarterback to Sam Bradford. I think having him and Julio Jones on offense, that alone is just going to be, that's an instant, 110 to 150 yards tonight, I think, against the Eagles secondary that's going to have to learn to play together. Yes, Byron Maxwell is a beast replacing Kerry Williams, but I would rather a guy who's played on the same team for 3 years and is with the team come game one, chemistry with the team is what I'm looking for. And for the past couple years, rather than day one Maxwell. So I think the secondary, there's going to be a learning curve. Not to say that they're not going to have a good secondary towards the end of the year, but I think there is a learning curve anytime you have this many acquisitions. And I really think that Matt Ryan is going to do such a good job distributing the football to other guys, such as Roddy White. I'm not sure, is he playing tonight? I'm pretty sure he is playing tonight. I know he's had some kind of, injury problem. But they also got Jacob Tamme over the free agency. And they got Tevin Coleman. They drafted Tevin Coleman, an absolute beast. If you've watched the preseason at all, Tevin Coleman's been a monster. I think they're going to help with the run game. A lot of screen passes to him. They still have Devontae Freeman, who's a beast. And, guys, expect the Falcons and Eagles to be, punch back and forth type of game. But I think that the Falcons are just going to have that little edge in the fourth quarter. So I'm going to take the Falcons here, 35-31. Super high scoring game, taking the over, over 55 points. I just came up with the 35-31 number in my head. I'm not really huge on predicting the scores of games. But I think point being, it's going to be in the 30s for one of, if not both, of the teams, and it's going to be within a touchdown in my opinion. But I think that the Falcons are going to have just enough. I think Vic Beasley is going to cause huge problems for Sam Bradford, and the Falcons are going to win this one. If you were wondering, the fantasy players that I have playing tonight on DraftKings, I have 3 of them. I have Nelson Aguilar, I have Julio Jones, and I have Matt Ryan. So, I don't have only players from one team. I have guys from both teams. I'm looking at it completely objectively here. And, I hate the Eagles, but I don't like the Falcons. I've said it a couple times that I hate the Eagles. Don't think that I'm basing my prediction against the Eagles because I don't like them. I truly do think that the Falcons are going to win tonight. And it's going to be a close one. It's going to be a good football game. If the Falcons can't get the ball to Julio Jones, he's the X factor for the Falcons offense, then the Falcons are going to struggle and they're going to lose the game. If Vic Beasley and that defensive core can't get to the quarterback in Sam Bradford, the Falcons are going to lose the game. And if on the Eagles side, if they can't run the ball, they're going to lose the game. You need to give Sam Bradford a break at times. You need to give the young wide receivers a break to think, just, to really take in the game, what's going on around them. And the defense, you need to be able to run the ball, okay? You need to be able to run the ball, and if they can't run the ball with Murray and Matthews, they're going to struggle. And their defense, if they can't contain guys like Julio over on the Falcons, they're going to lose the game. So those are the X factors on offense and defense for both teams. Guys, watch the game tonight. I love having these Monday Night Football games at 7 o'clock over here on the East Coast because, I live in New Jersey, and, we can't watch, we can, but it's super late, and when you're living an active lifestyle and you have school the next day, and school starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's tough. So, yep, that's it. I'm not going to continue rambling on. I feel like I rambled on a little bit here. Take my opinion as it is. It's my opinion. A lot of analysts are split on this one. A lot of people don't really know where to go, and you want to know why? Because it's going to be a close game. Watch the game, guys. Have a great day. Peace.